Hi, my name's Sean Shaler. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. That's his official Twitter handle now. That's pretty exciting. And this is Avatar The Last Podcasters. Very exciting episodes this week and next week because we are covering the episodes Beggingings. So that's Book 2, Spirits in the Legend of Korra, Chapters 7 and 8, Beggingings. It's a two-parter. We'll do the ratings at the end of next week's episode. We wanted to divide these up and kind of give them each their full due. So just going to cover part 1 this week, but not until I first, as always, ask Chris, how are you doing?
I am doing, it's a mixed bag, little mixed bag here, got my COVID shot today. I got the Johnson & Johnson one, and which is the one shot, which is the one shot for a reason, because it will, I believe it's, hit you up with them symptoms, them side effects a lot quicker. I have the chills. If anyone wants to know, I have the chills. I'm currently wearing 2 jackets, and I'm underneath a very thick blanket, and I have the heater on. It's that serious. But nothing much. Nothing much. I feel fine. Besides the chills, a little bit of muscle ache, a little bit of lightheadedness. There's some anal discharges, but I'm kidding. I'm kidding on the last one. The other ones were.
You played it out so cool though. I was gonna be like, all right, no bathroom breaks in the middle of this podcast because I don't edit this crap. No breaks.
You don't edit crap for crap.
That's right. I will edit for a baby because a baby can't help it, but I'm not gonna edit out emergency bathroom runs. That's on you. Although I said it can't help it, I suppose you can't help that either. But well, hey, I'm glad you got your shot. I'm 1 shot down as well, but I did a 2-shot one. And so I had very minimal effects, but I did not develop any superpowers. I was hoping to become Barry Bonds or something, but my head did not swell up or anything.
When you said Barry, my mind went to Barry Allen, the Flash.
I wanted to be Barry Allen also. Either, would you argue?
Either Barry.
It'd be fine. I wanted to be Barry Bonds, but I guess I'll settle for superhuman speed.
Think of all the great Barrys in the world. There's
Sandy?
Barry Allen, Barry Bonds, Barry Obama. He used to go by Barry in college.
Barry White.
Barry White. Is there Barry Manilow?
Barry Man. I mean, I don't. So that's one of those, I know the name, but I couldn't, say a song. But I could sing you a Barry White song from Space Jam. Right? Chris Rock and Barry White, I think. Do the Basketball Jones together?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it's Barry White. Anyway,
I've never seen a person named Barry that wasn't, cool.
I've never met a. We have Barry, our fan Barry. Okay.
Oh.
I don't know if it's Barry S. Watson or Barry Swatson. I apologize, Barry, or Barry's Watson. I don't know what it is, to be honest. It's all together, but we got a fan named Barry. I don't know any not cool people named Barry. You're right, absolutely right. So I actively follow Barry on Instagram. I don't do a lot. I do a lot of scrolling. I don't do a lot of activity. But he's also into sports and things like that. Barry, I'm just sharing your personal life out here. I hope that's cool. But no, I would, even if he wasn't a fan, I would be happy to follow Barry on social media because we share a lot of similar interests. All the cool Barrys. I'm gonna name my first child Barry. You nailed it. Unless it's a girl, and then I don't know how that's gonna work. Barry with an E. Like the fruit? I-E? Okay, yeah. It could work.
Yeah, I think the only way I would have got superpowers if I got a shot and got electrocuted at the same time. Then I think it's a foolproof plan to get superpowers.
I think you're right.
Preferably lightning.
Bolt of lightning is the only way.
I was inside of kind of a gym, and it's and the weather was fairly fine. So I should have scheduled this around
weather. You looked
up
in the sky and you're like, damn.
Damn you, God! Why? I'm like Zuko. Hit me, hit me. You never held back.
In a weird way, Zuko was also trying to develop a different kind of superpower. So I think that's a beautiful comparison. Instead of a shot of COVID vaccine, he had recently received a shot of Iroh wisdom.
It's true.
Slightly different kind of shot.
Both are good.
Both good. One,
one for your soul, one for your body.
Both have some weird side effects, to be totally fair. Well, hey, yeah, glad you're able to get your shots. I'm one shot in and you're done, so that's very exciting. And I know it doesn't mean everything, but it's just like a nice like a little glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. Like I
Yeah.
keep looking ahead at
There
August.
was
Maybe we'll
there
get to go to
was like
Comic-Con in
a
August.
there was like a weight lifted, even though it's not in effect. But no, I did feel like just a weight lifting over my shoulders. Like, all right, maybe I don't have to worry about this as much. Even though I always felt like if I got it, it'll probably be fine. People under 50, not much happens for a vast, vast, vast majority of them. There's always exceptions.
Sure.
Um,
Same with the
but
vaccine itself. When you
yeah,
got literal hundreds of millions of people getting this vaccine, there's going to be some side effects in some people that suck, and some are going to be really serious, and it's really bad. But the odds
yeah,
are heavily in our favor. So, it's like a glimmer. I keep thinking about like Comic-Con in August, or I'm a
I
big football
know.
fan. Maybe I'll get to go to a football game. Those kind of things at the end of the tunnel that would feel kind of like life as normal. Maybe
Yeah.
not. Chris, what's going on with you in your video world, in your video creation world,
Let's
or your other
see.
life too? It doesn't just have to be about videos. Life is more than YouTube.
My life's pretty great. I have no complaints. I'm very blessed. My wife asked me the other day, like, "What are your goals?" I'm like, "I'm
Pretty
very
much
blessed." I don't
done.
have. Yeah. She was like, I meant like, you gotta have goals. Like, don't you want to like get promoted at work and stuff like that, and like work with the kids on certain things? I'm like, oh yeah, those things. But other than that, I'm very happy. Like, I mean, granted, I've been happy most of my life. There was, a few times in my life I'm just like, teenage years, time of working at the state, felt like I had a dead end job. We all go through those things. So you gotta appreciate the happiness while you're having it.
As I say, we're two like I don't think we count as middle age yet. Maybe we do, and I'm in denial. But we're two middle aged men who set our Fridays sitting in front of toys talking about a cartoon show. I'd say things are going all right.
So, yeah.
Although you're not sitting in front of toys this week, I feel a little abandoned. I feel childish. Like you got a weight behind you in your work office area, and I got Hogwarts. I feel my work area is right over there, though. I could turn my camera if I wanted.
Don't feel bad.
You got any YouTube videos on the horizon to talk about?
I might have a Attack on Titan video come out soon. The manga just finished. Pretty good ending. With a show like that, with a story like that, it's hard to have the best ending possible, especially where they're going in the final season. The final season's still great. They haven't finished the final season so they went half of the season. I watched it. Now it's like I want more, and so I went and read the manga, the rest of it, and it just finished yesterday. Yeah.
Nice.
But so I might have a Attack on Titan video slash Godzilla video. Don't know if I'll actually do it or not.
You
Depends on how I feel in the next 3 days.
two separate videos, or you're
No,
talking
same video. So it'll be like a verse match.
I thought you were gonna dedicate an entire video to Kong versus Godzilla or whatever the hell that was.
No, that movie was pretty stupid. It's so stupid.
I have a couple of not a couple. I have several friends that were very excited, and like some of the Facebook reviews were like, "Yeah, it's not a good movie, but I really enjoyed watching." It's like I'm all for that.
That's fair.
I never want to
yeah.
take joy out of people's anything that brings you joy, and it's not like hurting other people. Great. I'm glad that people enjoyed it. I hated it.
I wouldn't say I hate it. I'm just like, this is a dumb movie.
I
like,
would say I hated it, and that I felt robbed.
No.
I would say I hated it, and that I felt like robbed out of like an hour of my life. With the redeeming parts, of course, being some pretty well put together fight scenes and things like that. But otherwise, I did feel kind of robbed. I was excited enough. Because somebody was excited about the trailer on our last podcast, and he told me that he was excited about the trailer, and then I watched the trailer, and then I was excited too. I'm not going to point any fingers, but I will mute people next time he tells me to watch a trailer. That might have been 2 podcasts ago. I don't remember. That might have been 2 episodes ago. And several other friends that were excited about it too. And I liked Kong Skull Island well enough. I won't say I loved it.
It's probably the best movie.
Is it a trilogy?
Them.
Am I thinking of that right?
Trilogy, probably. There was Godzilla, that came out in, I don't know when, 2010, I think. Then there was Kong Skull Island. Then there was Godzilla, King of the
Okay, I
Monsters,
never
which
saw
I
that
thought
one.
that one's fairly enjoyable. There was a lot of fights in it.
Okay.
So that was good. Then I feel like this one's probably maybe the worst of them.
I saw Kong Skull Island. I liked the ride at Universal, and I liked John C. Riley in that movie, and I liked it set
Oh,
apart in
okay.
its own. And John get like it was fine. It's good. So
Yeah.
whatever. It's fine. No, I thought you were dedicating an entire review to that, and I was gonna try to
No,
stop
just a
you.
verse match. Godzilla, not Godzilla. King Kong versus a Titan. I'm not sure which one yet, but
I will watch Attack on Titan someday. I just got to be in the right like emotional state to not laugh at things. I guess my wife's making us watch Breaking Bad, and I don't want to because I don't like dramas. Some people will say like I don't like drama, but then they'll go watch HBS. No, I refute drama even in fictional form, and I have no interest in watching it.
so
But
one of the things that I hate. I'm sorry, keep going.
no, it's one of those where I know as I'm watching it is like I hate this, but then it does just enough that like I'm watching it out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, damn it, I still want to see what happens. Like it's still good storytelling, and that
Yeah,
pisses me off kind of because I know like it's winning, it's beating me, and I hate it, making me
yeah.
mad.
I'm in the minority of things. Breaking Bad is highly overrated. Like I get there's great. The thing is, if I rated the season, it'll probably come out to be like with all my different metrics stuff, it'll probably come out to be like a, hey, there's great acting. There's some, great tense moments and stuff. But it's I don't know. I just found it to be fairly boring. But
I
anyway,
I couldn't review it honestly because I don't like drama so much. But I will say at least whatever it is about it, I think it's really good storytelling or maybe accumulation that does. Like I said, well, she'll be watching next to me, and I don't want to be watching. I want to do something else. But I'll keep looking back over. Like I kind of want to know, but whatever, that's fine. I don't have a specific video, but I did want to note that I have like it sounds really official when I say it, and it's not that official, but I have quote unquote like re-upped a contract to keep making videos for those people that have been making videos for us. That's very exciting. And I look forward to posting those to some pages. And then likewise, I'm going to take our podcast, and they've encouraged me to share it on one of their pages called Cartoon Geeks, and it's a very
ooh,
massive page, so it'll probably get covered up in the weeds right away by
okay,
whatever. But big audience, Cartoon Geeks, big page,
yeah.
and I'm going to start posting our videos in there every week, and we'll see if anything good happens.
First, share some of the good ones. I mean, they're all good,
It might be
but
good.
there's some better ones.
Yeah, there's better and worse ones. It might be fun to go pick out some kind of odds and then ones to kind of throw out there in the
Yeah,
middle of the
you
week.
gotta hook them. You gotta hook them, and then start doing
You got to push
whatever.
them, Chris. You got to push them.
Yeah, I was listening to that the other day.
It's good, easy listening. That
Yeah.
that's all my personal important news at the moment. If you're ready, I'm very excited to get in and start talking about these episodes.
Let's get into it. Book 2, Spirits, Chapter 7, Beginnings, Part Uno. So, Korra has no memory of herself. She lands in this Fire Nation. I believe those are Fire Sages.
Yes.
And they dip her in some kind of healing water and stuff. So then she has to reconnect to her avatar spirit, which I find really interesting. Like she first see one thing I like this like void that they're in, which I have a theory percolating now. It's not like I just came up with today because I was watching it with the commentary on. Also with I watched it 1.5 times, and Bryan was saying that like, yeah, this space we never really gave it a name. It's sort of like on the Avatar headspace, right? And so I'm thinking like that's really where they can talk to the past lives. Not sure you can go to the spirit world, but I feel like the spirit world just amplifies that sort of environment. I don't know. The theory is very fresh right now,
It's like a
but
little compartment inside of your brain where you can
yeah. And then I like
dial them up.
how yeah, I like how she talked to Aang, and he's just like, you gotta go talk to your avatar spirit. And then Yang Chen is like, if you don't, the world's going to be destroyed and our cycle would end. And then she talks to Roku, and Roku probably says something stupid. And then she talks briefly to Korok, and Korok is like the only one that's like, go talk to Rava. You got to find Rava, which I find interesting. That Korok is so far there's only three avatars that actually know of Rava. And that is Juan, Korok, and oh my gosh,
Korra?
Korok.
Actually, you threw me for a loop. I was like,
The
is he?
symptoms of forget. There we go. One of the symptoms, forgetting one of your favorite characters' names. Like, she's of course like a top four character for me
Your
of
daughter's
all
upstairs right
characters.
now crying
Yeah.
because you forgot her favorite person's name.
Um, and so I find it really interesting. Also, I was reading an interview, and Bryan even kind of said that in this one interview. He was saying that, like, yeah, so Korra had to really dig really deep to find Rava because you have such these layers upon past lives that many of them don't even know who Rava is, and you get so far that they don't they lose track of it. Like it's a game of telephone. Like you just kind of Rava's buried so deep. It's like, all right, well, she's the Avatar spirit. Like it eventually went from Rava to Rava the Avatar spirit, Rava the Avatar spirit to the Avatar spirit, and that's the only thing that they know. They don't know Rava as a being of herself.
I feel like this directly contradicts another theory that we've talked about before. And this is dumb. I don't know why I'm bringing it up, but we've always talked about avatars as if like every avatar kind of contains all of the knowledge of all the previous avatars. But if it becomes a game of telephone where things could get lost in translation, then that feels less true.
They do contain all of that knowledge, and it's through Rava, but they don't. It's like you have the internet and you have the phone in your hand. You have all the knowledge, but you didn't go through and look up everything in the world. Like you can go
It's
look
in
up
there
what's the
somewhere. Yeah.
population, what's the population in Taiwan in 1927, but you don't automatically have that.
I just watched the episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Jake like finds out that he's like above average height according to the 1940 census.
So,
Sorry, unrelated. That's fair. I think we have used the argument of like the next avatar more likely. I don't want to say stronger, but uh, besting a previous avatar just based on that knowledge. But there's still like
yes.
a question of having it versus like accessing and using it. So maybe not necessarily. I'll
Well, it's
tone it back
they
in my
get they
future
get they get
arguments.
two things. They get the wisdom and everything. They also get the power. And so it is. I feel like when the Avatar state kicks in, that's that's all the power kicking in. All the Roku also is the wisdom also. Um, but I mean, a person can't just siphon all that information in one Avatar state. So I don't think that's possible. But they get the the knowledge and where they get the wisdom, but they definitely get the power within going to the Avatar state. And that is compounded. Compound is not the word. I mean, you could use it, but not in a financial sense. They just get added to each other.
This week on The Last Podcasters, Chris and Sean offer their compounding interest advice for retirement.
Yeah. Um,
My
yeah.
advice is do it. That's all I know. No, that's fair. It's the internet's a really good example. It's all there, but digging it up takes at least some amount of effort, some amount of
Yeah.
focus, or like a focus direction.
Yep. All right. So and then Juan, she sees Juan and she's like, "Are you Rava?" And I just love this headspace. He's like, "No, but I will show you to her and tell you how I became the first Avatar." Like, I kind of wish I didn't know about this episode before watching it. Like, they came out with like, "Oh, here's the art," and "Oh, we got blanking on his name. That makes sense. Stephen Lewin. Stephen Lewin, the guy from The Walking Dead, the Asian guy from The Walking Dead.
Another show that I don't want to watch.
Yeah, I watched season one and was over with it after that. I was like, this. Anyway.
That's my worst nightmare. That drama plus zombies, Chris. I'm not touching that.
Well,
If there was an ocean involved, I would hate it. I would absolutely.
I'm not sure. I wasn't say, oh, and they were like, oh yeah, he's voicing Juan and everything. Um, And so I saw a couple of images from it. So I knew like they're gonna go back and talk about the first Avatar. But I just thought it would be really. Did you watch it knowing about the first Avatar, knowing the story was gonna be, your first time watching that they was gonna go back and revisit the first Avatar?
I mean, definitely not the first time, not at all.
Yeah.
And this episode is foreshadowing alert is memorable enough that I remembered most of it. We've had talks about previous avatars and stuff, so it wasn't. This one didn't have the same surprise as like some of the previous avatars. But I'll say that the first time that we watched this through, like I was watching it at a laptop at my dining table. I feel like I texted you, or maybe I held it into the next day. But it was such an interesting pair of episodes that
Okay.
I got to watch back to back. That I did immediately reach out because I had no idea that's where they were headed.
Yeah, cool. I wish I could pull that up. I'm sure the internet has that. Someone has that information
Somebody,
somewhere.
FBI, if you're out there listening,
Please look that up and
that
send to
lady
my
from
email.
that lady from Scrubs, who's the FBI agent that likes Abed. If you're out there listening, please scour.
From
I
Community.
probably
Yeah.
waited till the next day, but I remember
Oh yeah,
like
from Scrubs. Yeah.
explicitly talking to you about this set of episodes for sure.
Cool. All right, so we go back and visit, and the first Avatar is a lot like Aladdin, stealing from the rich, which are the Chews, and
I spelled choose wrong. I'm sorry.
that doesn't matter.
They're not important. They're just jerks.
Yeah, they're just jerks. Which I find interesting that there's still, conflict. There's still haves and have-nots. Also, Juan is a pretty great character, I think, because he comes off already as likable, right? He scrounges up whatever food he could, and then he gives some to his friends and gives them to the animals. He's like, I don't. And one of his friends is like, Hey, you need to eat too. You need to train. He's like, Nah, I'm fine. And then he has this plan to get fire from the lion turtle. So they live on top of a lion turtle because the spirits are out there and they're dangerous. So they live on top of the lion turtle where it's safe, but they still have to go out and hunt. Maybe hunt for food. Why are they going out there hunting if they know it's
They
bad? I don't
just
know.
say the hunt. They don't really clarify.
Yeah. I guess they're
Later
going out there to.
later on when it's that cat deer thing,
Yeah.
it kind of implies that they're gonna eat it.
Yeah, but I think they're just going to eat it because they're out in the wilderness and they need to eat, not because that's where they like. That's just for them to eat right then and
Like
there.
literally, like if you go on a fishing trip and then you have to
Yeah.
catch what you eat. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they're just venturing out trying to expand
Maybe
the
they're
world.
just
Oh, they don't
being
really explain it,
jackasses.
honestly.
Like, hey, let's just go
That
kill some shit.
that yeah. So Juan gets they go to Lion Turtle, who gives them bending, and I don't even know what I thought when I first saw that when they first like explained the Lion Turtle gives bending to people. I think my first thought was, whoa, 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 wait, what? The Lion Turtles give it, and you're kind of that's your first reaction because you've been told the lore in Avatar that the waterbenders learn from watching the moon push and pull the tides, that the airbenders learn from the bison, that the Fire Nation learned from the dragons, that the Earth Kingdom,
Badger moles.
Oma and Shu learn from the Bedramos. But then you quickly kind of realize that both of those things can be correct, right?
And in
Um,
this case, I think they still late because later the lion turtles explicitly say like, but never again will you steal our bending or whatever. So I think it
well,
still took
he said we'll
those,
never give you bending. Like he gave people bending,
but
right? The fire people,
they were always supposed to be like giving it back or whatnot. So in my head, it's like
but some,
there still was
but
like an
the
intermediary where like the badger moles were
but
kind of an
the
intermediary between the lion turtles and people having bending naturally as opposed to having to request it for the hunt.
so they let the so I mean we'll get I'll say real quick. So when Juan left, he proved the theory that you can go out in the spirit wilds and be fine. And then his friend was like, Juan proved that we could do this. So then they got the fire for the lion turtle and they set off by themselves. And then you got the air nomads who already had bending. Like there was no barring bending. They just had it. And they probably got it from the lion turtle of them.
We don't know
But
that
like they
there was a
didn't
bar or not that they had to give it back, do we? We don't know if they had to give it back or not.
we never see them giving it. back. I mean, they don't. They seem to be living perfectly. They don't have any reason not to have air been.
Huh. I guess
Yeah,
it's one of those things where as you watch and you make those assumptions. In my head, I just assumed that like, oh, even if the lion turtles like always demanded it back, and so that at a certain point, like no humans had or owned it, but then you still had like it's the badger moles teaching earthbending
yeah.
later on,
So this
as
is
having
how.
spirit connection or something like that.
Um, so we'll get to it. I'll explain how I line up everything, which I think is 99.5% accurate. But anyway, we'll get to it. Um, the all right, so he goes and he tricks the hunt guys. He's like, I gotta go back, and then but he doesn't go get the fire back to the lion turtle. Instead, him and his friends go and raid the Chew's army, and then he he can like kill the Chew or strike him down, but he decides not to. Decides to have mercy on him, and then they capture him, and then they kick him out, and then they're like, "Take away his bending, Lion Turtle." And Juan pleads his case. He's like, "Listen, I need my bending from be out there by my own." And Lion Turtle's like, "All right, cool, you can have the bending, but you can't
I'll
return."
allow it.
Yeah, I'll allow it, but watch yourself, Juan. Um, so he goes
Seamless.
out into the spirit wilds, and he meets. I actually forget the monkey spirit's name.
I
Um,
I.
okay.
It's because it's just
AA.
an
I think it's
actual,
AA.
it's an actual creature. It's
Yeah.
just like the name of an actual creature. The guy who does,
Oh,
I
okay.
had to look it up because his voice is so familiar,
It
and much
is.
like all these, but he was in a ton of stuff. So I think that I know him from Fairly Odd Parents and Diablo 3. He was in He was in a weird number of video games also.
Oh,
But that dude is in a ton of stuff, but always
yeah.
kind of as like side
Hmm.
characters. But yeah, no, he is in everything.
Yeah.
Also, William's sister in this episode too. Couple fun voices. I forget which Williams. Can you right? One of the
Oh,
Fire
it
Sages.
is. Yes, it is Serena Williams.
Serena.
She
No,
voiced one of the Fire Sages, which is funny. Like years after Legend of Korra like wrapped up, she was watching it and she tweeted out, "Hey guys, like, how do you explain the Lion Turtles giving the bending to to people, and then also how it lined up with with the Badger Moles and all of them teaching other people how to bend." So it is a question that people have off the bat when they watch this episode.
that's
So, but shout out to
awesome.
Serena Williams, who's she's the goat.
Yeah, shout out. If I watched tennis, I'd be even more excited. But I know,
I
like
watched her last
I
match. I was
get
actually
it.
excited to
So
watch her last match because she was going up against um oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name. I want to say Ahsoka, but that's not her name. Ahsoka is a Star Wars character.
yeah, but no, I can kind of. I'm not so sure that's not the last name. Maybe we're pronouncing it wrong, but I'm not so sure
Yeah,
that's not the
okay.
right name.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, so yeah, she's in it. All right, so he's in Spirit Wilds and he's lost and everything, and he's being tormented by different spirits and stuff. And
Osaka,
he,
Osaka
oh, sorry.
instead of
Anyway,
Ahsoka.
oh okay, and then he comes across Lua. Wait, Lua, Lua. Dang, I forgot. I'm forgetting names like crazy. The cat deer. Come across the cat
I
deer,
forget the cat
and
deer's
he's
name
like,
also.
I think Lua. Anyway, comes across the cat deer. He's like, all right, I'm gonna kill the cat deer. He's like, I can't do it. He lets the cat deer go. And then the other guys are like, hey, that's our hunt. That's our meal. And then so they chase him. Juan protects the cat deer. Oh yeah, and then the monkey guy didn't let Juan into his spirit oasis because he hates humans. Anyway, they some people die. I'm pretty sure some people died because the spirit wilds like just took them. And then the monkey guy, EE was it EE?
I
AA.
A or I.
Uh,
It's AYE hyphen AYE. I don't know how
I'm
to say.
gonna go
Yeah,
with
however you want to say
AA.
it.
So they foreshadow AA gets inside of a spirit. I'm sorry, gets inside of a human, and like he's starting to turn into AA, and AA is like, yeah, if I would have done any longer, I would have killed him. Which I thought about it. AA is kind
I
of
love how he says that. Dude.
anyway, and then he's like, I've never seen a human have such compassion. Like, you're welcome to my oasis. Um, so then, and then they live together in peace. and then Juan learns from the dragon like how to actually bend fire, how to make it an extension of yourself. So this is where so I'm gonna use this analogy, right? So the lion turtle gives them bending, right? But then the masters, if you will, the animals taught bending to them. It's like if my mother gave me a paint set. That doesn't make me a painter. But if I got an art teacher who taught me how to paint, and I trained now I am a painter. Now I know how to paint. The brush is an extension of myself.
I'm gonna
So
go with
that's
a
how.
I'm gonna go with a way more boring analogy of like the lion turtle is like he like gets circuits all hooked up in your house, and then AA went and flipped the switch on and teach him how to firebend. You get light till you get the switch.
And so it's
I like your
still
analogy better.
and so it still holds. The two things don't conflict with each other. There is the story of Oma and Shu being the first earthbenders, but you have to understand is that that's a legend, right? Um, and they possibly could have been the first real earthbenders who were taught by the Badger Moles. Also, Bryan said in that commentary for that episode that he was like, "Oh, I love how these legends are thought of and everything." And he didn't say like, "Oh, I love how we got this historical aspect to it." He said legends, so that made me think like, "All right, well, legends can be exaggerated, things like that." You know how
Yeah.
religion can be. I'm kidding. I love Jesus. Don't
Even as I say, even as a practicing Catholic, I'm still ready to agree with what you just said.
um what was it? But yeah, so that's how I kind of explain that. And then
Yeah, I think there could be an intermingling. I'm sure other people stole bending
I
from
mean they
other lion
had
turtles. But
I
I
mean
would
they
like,
had bending, like people had bending. Like they like at the end of the episode they show like that at the end of part two they show all these people bending while they're in and Juan is like separating them. And so I mean, you're made to believe that everyone kept their bending. The lion turtles then wasn't like, and we're going to take all your bending away, which be cruel.
that'd
But
be
yeah, they
kind
just
of.
say we'll no longer give you all bending.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I always feel like I said, as I was watching, I just kind of presume like, oh, the lion turtles probably always take it back, or even at the end there, they all just trick the lion turtles like, yeah, we're not gonna go pick fights, we're gonna go hunt again. Please give us bending, and that's when everybody like stole that first bending. They
No,
all
they're
stole it.
pretty straightforward with the lion turtle.
No sense lying to
Um,
a lion turtle.
yeah, and so which I thought was a really cool part. While Juan is doing the training montage, like the guy who's like was a hunter, he's like the spirits protected him. Like Juan bended fire like it was an extension of himself, which that supports the theory that I talked about how it becomes essentially yourself. You truly become a bender at that point. Um, and then that's when his friend was like, Juan taught us that with the power of fire, we can face our fears, which he got the wrong message from that. Like it wasn't the power of fire that saved Juan; it was his compassion and um and his understanding of the spirits and trying to live with them. Like he would have been dead if it wasn't for him trying to save the cat deer. Like he was not going to last in spirit wild if it wasn't for the spirits. But they took that message, went strong with it, but the wrong the wrong moral of the story.
They missed the
Like
end
let's
of the
burn
after school
everything.
special. They did
Yeah,
not watch till the end of the episode.
yeah. In the commentary, they were saying how they find that interesting. Bryan said like any idea, even if it has like good roots, like if it's taken too far, like it can turn bad, and that's absolutely true.
Uh, it feels like we're making lots of commentary on religion, like a comment. We're so sorry. We don't mean to bring religion into our
Yeah.
podcast.
I mean, the thing is, beliefs. What was it? I mean, so beliefs don't do any harm, right? No scripture or doctrine says, well, most I'll say says, "Hey, go kill everybody that doesn't believe what you believe."
that's
uh,
the few and far between beliefs that
like like even Wiccans, they're like I know my boss was they seem pretty chill. They're just like, yeah, well, we believe in like energies and stuff like that, and and stuff. But
I can't say I've met any, but I'd love to have that conversation.
and so
Yeah,
like I
like
said,
it's
anything
usually
like religion.
it's usually a grave misconstruction of a very simple, potentially harmless belief.
Yeah, like there's a Chris Rock said something in Dogma, which I which I love that movie.
As far as Jay and
I
Silent Bob movies go, I was in.
I think that was my first introduction to Jay and Silent Bob
Me
and
too,
Kevin Smith.
maybe. Yeah.
And someone did a review of it. I think it was Jeremy Johns, and I commented like, even though like I'm a full Christian, believing Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, I love this movie. And someone commented on me, then you're not a full Christian. I'm like, how you gonna tell me? Like I can like you're taking stuff too seriously. Like it's like it's not. I love Diamond. But anyway, Chris Rock in that movie says like believes
You could say the same thing about
don't
like The Good Place. Like, hey, I liked The Good Place a whole lot, and somebody come back and be like, well, that means you're not a real Christian because it doesn't line up.
exactly
It's
like
like same argument could be made.
he was saying that like religion, like people die and kill over religion, but beliefs like that's a little bit harmless. And he was saying like that's what I don't know Jesus intended. He don't I would not take I don't know as much as I love dogma, I wouldn't take religious advice from it to a certain extent. Take a little bit maybe, just from the point of not taking it so overboard that you feel like you should harm others or even push yourself. I mean, it's okay to like spread whatever word, but don't be like, hey, you gotta believe this.
I think I watched Dogma in 2011. I think that was my first introduction to Jay and Silent Bob. I will say that that is a weird introduction to Jay and Silent Bob, as it does not represent their larger appearances in film. I mean, it does, but not. Anyway, yeah, Dogma. It's been a while, but
That's your religious talk for now.
that's
Um,
we've covered finance, we've covered religion. Who wants to talk about marriage?
marriage is
Let's
you
get
gotta work in marriage.
let's get all Delilah on this. Let's talk about some sex lies and tell us your problems at home. Let's help you. Uh,
Uh,
or we could talk about how
the
his name
first
was
I give
Stinky.
one
And
advice for marriage. Wait, right when me and my wife was driving away from getting married, and you have just married on your car sign, like couple put up against this to us, like, how long y'all been married? Like, we just got married. And they're like,
there's literally
hey,
there's
it's like, here's some advice. Communication's the key. Well, I think, and then like every now and then my wife brings up like that one random couple that screamed at us, communication is the key. And communication is the key, really. Like communicate your expectations, communicate your wants and needs in life and things like that. So there's your marriage advice, communication.
I 1000% agree with that marriage advice, but your first drive was much different than mine. I had about a 1 mile drive from the wedding venue to the hotel, and somebody lent us a beautiful Corvette. And so I was trying 1,000,000% with all of my focus to not do anything but not wreck this Corvette on like a 25-mile-an-hour, like Wichita, like a downtown street thing. So it's not that I was going to like wreck the car, but I might hit a person or whatever. So 100% focus. Like Heather's not talking to me. I'm just like 10 to 2. And it probably was 3 minutes worth of driving a sick car. I was very excited.
We just
But
pushed my wife's.
no marriage
Yeah,
advice.
we were so broke. I was so broke back then, man.
We did not
So
rent that
freaking broke.
car. We did not rent.
Yeah,
Somebody let us borrow that car. You know I'm
like
a tight ass.
I had maybe. Let's see, how long was I pay less? Probably 2 weeks at that point, maybe 3 weeks. So I probably didn't even get paid yet.
For
You didn't get your first paycheck yet. So I probably had like $40 in my bank account.
I know we have possessions in our life, and we're grateful for those. But I want to remind
Yeah.
everyone of a time where Chris and I used to take the number of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that we bought in the $1 to $2 range very seriously on eBay.
And I don't have I'm not rich by any means. I mean, I live comfortably and I'm very blessed and everything. Very blessed enough to buy, a basement full of toys and posters and TV and stuff. But I remember like my first day at Payless, they take you out to lunch.
Mhm.
I thought I would have to pay. I had $6 in my bank account, maybe seven, and I was like, what should I get? I'll just get the hot dog.
Can I have a soda? Like,
Cause I didn't want to overdraft. And then I realized afterwards they paid for it. I was like, dang it. I got this stupid hot dog with wheat on it and terrible chili.
you
We went
probably warned
to
me. You probably
the landing, I think, or whatever it was called then.
you probably came to me on my first day and you're like, hey, don't order the chili dog. They'll pay for it. And you probably told me that. I don't.
I probably did. I think I told someone that. I probably.
I would have had a smidge of income at the time because I would have spent a year in the store
Yeah.
already. So I at least would have had like something in my account by the time I got to Topeka. But there's some hilarious like sitcom caliber broke months in out in St. Louis.
Another story when I was in college. Like I had probably like $3 in my account, and I needed money for the toll.
But
$3 isn't
RAs,
enough.
So like it sounds bad, but we did
super.
But so it's I'm not trying to negate our case, but as RAs, you got to remember that like we can live on $3 because we get fed.
Yeah.
So
had free meals, housing was free. I just had to pay for my cell phone, which was $50 a month. I got paid $50 a month, but I got paid $100 a month because I had a roommate. If you had a roommate, they gave you an extra 50. So I got paid $100 a month.
Solid.
Half of that went away quickly.
To the cell phone. Okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. And I remember like counting my minutes because me and my wife was in a long distance relationship. It's not my wife then, it was my girlfriend. And so I'll be like, man, I gotta wait till 7:00. That's when the anytime minutes kick in. Young people don't know about those anytime minutes. And if it was a weekend, like she would have to call me on my landline phone.
I had a limited number of texts.
Yeah.
But I mean I was on a computer like in a library or whatever constantly. So even as a RA, when I had to like stay awake real late at night, I would go to the little computer center in the building. So I talked to my wife that way. Like even they didn't have like the video calls, but you could like voice call on Messenger even at that time. So cheap and good times. Good times.
Yeah, good time. Can't appreciate the good times without the struggle.
No, absolutely not. We came full circle. We went from marriage and all that life advice, then we came back to finance and compound interest, just where we started.
So Juan is out alone. He sees these spirits fighting, these giant spirits. They're like
they literally
they
yell at him. They're like what do they say? The massive spirits are fighting. Like somebody yells at him like there's a fight going on in the schoolyard.
The great spirits are fighting.
Yeah, something like because it's like a schoolyard thing. I was like, is that you go watch for fun or like what are you?
People taking bets. So that they were Rava and Vatu were destroying this like valley and possibly killing people, which probably means nothing to them. Like there's so much stakes on the line.
Yeah,
it's like all right, well if we destroy this little village, it's not like
they're great,
that big
good spirits.
Yeah. And then Vatu tricks him like, please, if you're a friend of the spirits, help me. She's been tormenting me for 10,000 years. And Juan breaks up. And Rava's like, leave, human. Like, she's not necessarily making a case.
No,
like,
Rava does a terrible job. She doesn't even try.
But she's so, which I guess, she's so above him. She doesn't feel like she even needs to
she swats the shit out of him. Like she beats him back into a tree or something. It's like, well, that you didn't have to do that. I think that was after he attempted the first time though, so he kind of provoked that. But she did not make a very good statement about her. I say she. It's a female voice.
Just say I'm the good one.
Yeah, you just be like,
wait, what?
Be like, break the fourth wall. Be like, hey, it's a cartoon and white black. Like, I'm sorry, this is just how it is.
Yeah, like can't you tell? This guy's clearly ominous. Here, like
just
listen
got
to
a
his
scary voice. I know it's not fair, but that's just how it goes. And then you fourth wall back up, and then you.
Anyway, Juan separates them, and Fatu goes away. It's like thank you, and Juan still doesn't get. Sorry, Vachu said that, and Rava's pretty much like, you don't know what you've done. So you've
He
unleashed
definitely
darkness
did
and
that.
chaos on the world. He's like, wait, what? And then, wait, what? Now? Unleash darkness and chaos on the world.
Pardon? Come
Yeah.
again?
And then, and pretty much from there, he's like, all right, well, I'll help you. I'll help you restore balance. And and that episode ends there with Korra saying, Rava, I found you, which is really cool because I think it cements Korra and Rava having this very kind of personal relationship. Like Korra, no, I feel like not only does she want to hold on to Rava because Rava is the kind of the embodiment of being the Avatar. I mean, there is no Avatar without Rava, but I feel like it's more than that.
And that's where we're gonna leave you this week on a cliffhanger, kind of. To be continued. So that is part one, and we're not going to rate these separately because they need to coexist. And so come back next week, and we'll do our full review, we'll do our review of the second episode and then our ratings for the full episode. And I'm very excited to talk about those. But hey, you never know. You come back, you might get some discussion about religion and home ownership and probably child rearing next time. Name your child Barry, those kinds of things. Very wide scope on this podcast. Hey, thank you so much for listening. Chris, final thoughts on the first episode without spoiling ratings or feelings or anything?
It was a great first episode. Really great introduction to this world. I think you really leave kind of on a cliffhanger.
It's a really good one too. Like I found you, Rava. It's good. You know, some bad crap happened here historically in the past, but you almost forget that you're in Korra's head. And so to hear her say, Rava, I found you, like it kind of like a weird pullback into reality feeling.
Yeah.
You know, it's really interesting.
Which I think is good that they did. You know, sometimes when the Avatar talks to the past Avatar, like they're like together, talking, looking at their
They're
past
like
lives,
literal
right?
walking
Like,
and strolling
yeah,
like buddies.
like Roku, and Aang did when Roku showed him his past. In the books, Korra walked with Kyoshi sometimes when they were like more connected. Other time, I think the first time she saw one of his flashbacks, she was alone, and then the second time he was with her. And so maybe it has to do with connection because Juan is so far down there that Korra can't. Oh, it's just easier, I guess, to just do hey, just watch this movie and just watch it by yourself, and then let it bring stuff back to you. Let's reconnect with that.
I did want to say that I thought the water, I forgot to say this at the beginning, the water in my head, it wasn't even like magic healing water. It's just like the Bobby Boucher water in The Water Boy that was just so cold that it like put her into a state of shock, and she had this whole like inner, what do you call it, like inner subconscious near death experience where she was like freezing in this little cryogenic chamber these fire sages cooked up somehow. That's probably not what happened, but that's what happened right up here. Yeah, all right. Hey, come back for the second half next week. Very excited to talk about that and to offer our ratings of the entire episode. Chris, glad you got your shot. Hope you're feeling better next week in reality. Next week right here is going to be in like 2 minutes, so I'm sure that's not the case. This has been Avatar.
I have goosebumps. You can probably see them. But no,
a little bit. Goose pimples.
And I have on 2 jackets, as I said before.
What is Kevin say on Brooklyn Nine-Nine? I think he says, I have goose skin or something. Like he doesn't call it goose pimples. I think it actually might be Raymond that says it. I have goose skin.
Wait. Yeah. No one says
something. I don't know. It's a little off, but it's something like that. But hey, this has been Avatar The Last Podcasters. You can find us on Facebook.com/Avatar The Last Podcasters or Instagram and Twitter @last_podcasters. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.